Přemysl the Ploughman. Přemysl the Ploughman, Czech pronunciation, Přemysl Oráč, listen Přemysl Oráč, English Premysl. Przemysl or Primislaus was the legendary husband of Libuše, and ancestor of the Primislid dynasty, containing the line of princes, dukes, and kings which ruled in the lands of the Bohemian Crown from 873 or earlier until the murder of Wenceslaus. Legend. According to a legend, Premysl was a free peasant of the village of Status who attracted the notice of Libuše, daughter of a certain Croc, who ruled over a large part of Bohemia. Libuše succeeded her father, and her counselors demanded that she marry, but because Premysl was not a nobleman, she recounted a vision in which they would follow a horse let loose at a junction, and follow it to find her future husband. Two versions of the legend exist, one in where they are to find a man ploughing a field with one broken sandal, and another in which the man would be sitting in the shade of a single tree eating from an iron table his plough. They did so and found Premysl exactly as foretold. Premysl married Libuše, the traditional foundress of Prague, and became prince of the Bohemian Czechs. However, according to the legends, because they found him before he had finished ploughing, the field famine was anticipated for the land and did actually come about. He was also said to have planted his hazelwood staff in the ground before he left, which then grew 3 sprouts, 2 of which died, but the third continued to grow. This was an omen that his first 2 sons with Libuše, Radobil and Lidimir, would die, but their third son, Přemysl, would live and continue the Primislaus dynasty. Legend has it that the staff continued to grow, and the inhabitants of the neighboring town were given a grant exempting them from taxes, except for a pint of hazel nuts each year, a tradition which continued into the reign of Charles Roman IV, Holy Roman Emperor, from whom Pope Pius Roman II claimed to have seen a charter renewing the exemption. He was also said to have removed his peasants' bast shoes before donning the royal robe when he was discovered, and ordered the councillors to bring the shoes with them and keep them as a reminder to the people that a peasant had risen to the highest rank, and to his successors to be humble, remember their origin, and defend the peasantry. The custom of exhibiting a pair of bast shoes at the coronation of the kings of Bohemia was said to have continued throughout the Primislaus dynasty. The Primislaus dynasty became extinct in the male line when Wenceslaus Roman III died, but through females the title to Bohemia passed from the Premyslids to the Luxembourgs and later to the houses of Jagiellon, Habsburg and Habsburg-Lorraine. Medieval literary traditions. The earliest work mentioning the story about Premysl and Libuše could be the so-called Christian legend Latin title Vita et Passio Sancti Wenceslaus et Sancti Ludmili Aviatus from the end of 10th century, though some historians consider this legend to be a falsum, from 12th or 13th century. The legend is further described in the Cosmas Chronicle Latin title, Chronica Bomorum, written between 1119 and 1125, short writing about Cyril and Methodius Latin title, Defundant Sol from the late 12th century, and the Chronicle of Dalimil from the beginning of 14th century. Several times the legend was recorded during the reign of King and Emperor Charles Roman IV in the late 14th century, e.g. the so-called New Chronicle of Bohemie by Przybysz Pulkowa, and in the chronicle compiled by Giovanni de Marignani. Arts. In addition to appearing in works named for Libuše, Przemysl is also a subject of the writings of Wenceslaus Hajduk of Libicany, published in 1541, a 1779 ballad by Johann Gottfried Herder, fairy tales by Johann Carl August Musaus, and Clemens Brentano's 1815, The Founding of Prague.